Day 17. Welcome back. Thank you to the returning viewers and welcome to any new viewers or subscribers. Wonderful to have you along. My name is Tanya, I'm 52 and I'm based on the east coast of Scotland, and this is my personal development diary vlog where I'm documenting the progress that I'm making over the kind of launching of my online business and also doing this channel on YouTube. So it's a steep learning curve, and hopefully you'll start seeing some changes over the coming days ahead that are going to make things a little bit more kind of value add for you. So thank you for sticking around. So where we had left it yesterday was I was describing my low self-esteem that I was experiencing between the ages of 35 and 39, which ended up leading to me having burnout. And today I'm going to cover the burnout aspects of it. There are a lot of tips and hints that is worth sort of like highlighting, so depending on how long this vlog ends up being, I might sort of roll it into tomorrow as well to make sure that you're getting the utmost value from me self-reflecting on my past experiences, because I didn't have it all figured out back when I was 35, 39. And it's only now on self-reflection upon that experience and having the tools and the techniques that I have learned through my training and the extensive reading that I've done since finishing my courses earlier this year. I'm starting to get a lot more kind of clarity around the kind of boundaries and limiting beliefs and language that I was actually using that was counterintuitive and not helpful. So bring me back to the story. This is where, as part of the low self-esteem, I was binge eating, binge drinking, and I ended up gaining significant amount of weight. I felt really uncomfortable in my body. My sleep was impacted, and then at the same time I was overgiving and going above and beyond at work, which was creating kind of stress and the build-up of fatigue in the body. And there was an initial restructure that had happened not long after I joined Standard Life, so probably when I was about 36 and a half, there was the first restructure. My self-confidence sort of like created that suffering in my head where I thought I was the last one to join the team, I should be the first to leave, and that kind of conflict that I was experiencing internally. And then what actually happened was I decided that action needed to be taken because I couldn't continue the way that I was, because the suffering and the pain was just too much with the weight gain and lack of sleep and all those kind of aspects. So I decided to sort of like get myself unstuck and do something. And the kind of quote that Albert Einstein is known for, or one of the quotes that he's known for, is insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So after a couple of years of doing that, I then sort of like decided, no, I need to make changes. So at the age of 38, I joined Weight Watchers, and the plan was for me to start eating healthier, reduce my portion sizes, get educated about proper healthy eating, and get some support by the group. And as a result, I started exercising on a more regular basis. I cut down on the amount of drinking that I was doing because I realized my trigger for unhealthy eating was because of the alcohol. So if I went out on a Friday night or on a Saturday night and I had a fair bit to drink, then the next couple of days and probably the week after, I used that as my story excuse of, oh, I'm recovering, my body needs the stodgy food to absorb the alcohol, and therefore it's okay for me to have an off week. But then it would just keep on going and going, and that became the excuse, and that was one of the reasons for the kind of weight gain. Now, the kind of, I don't like in hindsight, Weight Watchers worked for me. I managed to reduce my weight by a significant amount, and it was because I did like really long walks at the weekend, and I started incorporating as much walking even during the week. So where I would be getting the train, and I would be driving to the train station, I would park at the furthest away spot, so I had more walking to do to the train station. I would get off a train station sooner. So yes, and then I would actually walk to the office. So therefore I was getting additional kind of exercise during the week as well. And that all culminated that I was able to reduce my weight. Now, the language that we tend to sort of get associated with weight loss is we need to lose weight. And that is the wrong way to sort of address it. We need to reduce our weight. We need to become slender and leaner and fitter and healthier, because weight reduction, from a loss perspective, our brain has got a negative association with that. There is nothing in our life that we want to lose. We want to hold on to everything. So our survival primal wiring is geared up for that. So the only two things that we want to actually lose is we want to lose the excess weight. So therefore a gain in weight is the wrong association for us, but then using the word loss also creates a negative association in our brain. So it's counterintuitive. So what I'm trying to say is, if you've got a word that has got a significant meaning, but your brain is primal geared up for it, doesn't want to lose anything, then it's counterbalancing your desire. So that's why a lot of times you find that you self-sabotage yourself and you don't understand why you're doing it. It's because your body is trying to keep you in survival mode. It wants you to be bigger. Now, it doesn't necessarily want you to be bigger because you've eaten sugar and alcohol and processed foods, but the moment you're starting to threaten the current status quo, it actually wants to reverse back. It wants you to get more calories. It wants you to stay amply nourished, even though the food that you might have been eating wasn't the right thing. I will do several vlogs on the weight side, because that is something that is an ongoing work in progress for me, because I'm trying to create a healthier relationship with food as a result of the binging earlier on and the kind of mindset shifts that I've been making along the way. So I joined Weight Watchers. The weight started to reduce and I started feeling a slightly better in myself in terms of I could fit into my clothes, and I thought everything was sorted. And then there was a second restructure that happened at work. And what that meant was there was two teams that consolidated. And this is where sometimes when you are too close to a situation, you are unable to see from a different perspective. And one of the metaphors, analogies that sort of probably explains that is, you're so close to the detail that you can't see the wood from the trees. So standing back and seeing things from a different perspective can actually help you work smarter rather than harder. And at that time, I was just too close to the detail, too emotionally attached to the situation, because it wasn't impacting me. The second restructure wasn't impacting me directly. It was impacting my manager and managers within the department. But as a result, it meant that I had a new manager and the work distribution within the team wasn't evenly allocated. And because I was just like, oh, just get on with it, there's no point, don't be seen as complaining, just get on with the work. But what I hadn't realised was that me getting on with the work and working more and more and more hours, what I was actually doing is I was burning myself out. The energy that I had sort of regained by my weight reducing, exercising, eating healthier, ended up getting dismissed altogether, because then I was working far too many hours and then I wasn't able to take nourishing food. I was eating food to sustain me, but it wasn't of good quality because I didn't want to go home and cook and prepare something. So I ended up doing a lot of the processed Weight Watchers meals that were giving you the right amount of calories, but it wasn't the right ingredients that were included in them. I know that in hindsight now. So as I was actually leading to the burnout, what I had to actually do was, because it got to the point where I had no energy, I was not motivated to socialize or interact with people. I was in a very negative spiral where I was criticizing myself for not standing up for myself, but because I had unhealthy boundaries at that point, I just thought, well, the common denominator here is me. Everyone else seems to be okay, and I'm the one that's constantly complaining, so maybe I'm the one that needs to go, I'm the problem. So I ended up handing in my resignation, because I got to the point where after like 8 months of working extremely long hours and not being recognized for that, and actually being told that I should be working smarter, but not being given any support on how to actually do that, and I didn't feel heard or being seen at that point. So I thought my only way out is to resign, which I actually did. I handed in my resignation, but then I actually did something that's a little bit out of character for me. I sent a message to all the people that I had been working with in the company, and I apologized that I was going to be letting them down, but there was nothing more that I could do for them, and that I was handing in my notice, and I was hoping that they would get the right support after I've left, because I just felt that I was failing. I wasn't delivering to the capability that I knew that I could, because I wasn't given the right support. And as a result, I got a lot of people sort of getting in touch, to the point where they went way high up in the organisation, and they ended up sort of like approaching me and saying, look, Tanya, what is the underlying issue here? And I was like, I'm burnt out. There is nothing in the tank. I like, getting out of bed in the morning is tough, let alone doing an hour and a half commute to get into work. So I just need to take care of me. I need to be the priority. And luckily, there were a couple of directors that genuinely did care, and they were like, okay, if that's the case, how about you take some time off, and then once you feel that you're totally recharged, you can actually come back and we'll find another role for you within the organisation. So I took 4 months unpaid leave, and I went and did some travelling to recharge my batteries, give myself a different perspective, and come back renewed but clear on what I wanted to make changes in my work-life balance, and the effort that I was actually putting into work. It needed to be that I was prioritising my needs as well. And that's something that I've tried on and off to do for years. So there's probably more levels of detail that we can go into here. So what I want to actually leave you with is a couple of hints and tips in terms of the kind of language, and in terms of recharging the batteries, in terms of this is where you may have some kind of blind spots, and it's about asking for people to support you, to actually tell you where those blind spots are, and don't take it as criticism. Actually see it as an opportunity for you to learn, grow, and see things that are going to help you in the long term. So I'll probably go into this in a little bit more detail tomorrow, because I appreciate I've covered off a great deal here. So thank you for listening, and thank you for being here and supporting me. In the comments, put down if you're experiencing burnout at the moment, or if stress is really high, or even if if you've got low self-esteem. Share that information, and let's start supporting each other. So until tomorrow, go out and seize the day, have an awesome day, and remember, there's always choices in life, so choose wisely. Bye.